Welcome back to Last Breath Diaries. I'm glad you're here because what we're about to dig into this week is darker, deeper, and more twisted than anything we've done so far. This weekend, I'm dropping a special deep dive episode, a chilling exploration into the world of nurses who kill. But tonight, consider this your preview, a taste of what's coming. Let's go back to where it all began. Ever since I was 9 years old, I knew I wanted to be a nurse. I remember standing in the hallway of a hospital, the sterile scent of alcohol and steel in the air, the rhythmic beeping of machines echoing through the walls. Most kids would have cried, maybe turned away. But me, I couldn't look away. Something inside me lit up. It wasn't fear, it wasn't disgust. It was something else, something powerful. Open quote. For most 8-year-olds, hearing those cries of pain, the shrieks of terror, the beeping of the life-saving equipment didn't turn me away, make me fearful, or make me squeamish. It did the opposite. I didn't know what all of those things represented in that moment, but I knew someday, somehow, I'd be a part of whatever I just witnessed, close quote. That's how and when I knew. From that moment, I dreamed of being the one who would hold someone's hand as they took their last breath, to be the calm in someone's storm, the light when the room grew dark. But not every nurse dreamed like that. Our story tonight takes us back to the late 1800s, Boston, Massachusetts. A young woman named Jane Toppin was studying to become a nurse at Cambridge Hospital. To everyone around her, she was cheerful, devoted, and hardworking. They called her Jolly Jane. She laughed often, doted on her patients, and made people feel safe. But behind that warm smile was something grotesque, something festering. Jane had discovered a fascination with the human body, a twisted curiosity about how much morphine it took to make a patient drift into unconsciousness, and how much more it would take to never let them wake again. At first, she experimented quietly, adjusting doses, observing reactions, keeping notes like a scientist in a lab. But soon, curiosity turned to thrill. She began to inject her patients, watching their pulse slow, their breathing fade. And when the life drained from their bodies, she would sit beside them. Sometimes she'd climb into bed next to them, feeling, as she later confessed, intimate with death. Jane Toppin wasn't just the first nurse known to kill. She was one of the first to ever confess to enjoying it. She once told investigators, "It's as though I administered God's will, deciding who lives and who doesn't." And the world believed her at first. Because who could imagine a nurse, a woman of mercy, a symbol of healing, being capable of such horror? That's where our journey begins, with Jane, the woman who tainted the very image of care, the nurse who smiled as she delivered death. Her story would open the floodgates for decades of similar cases across the world. Nurses who slipped past suspicion because they wore the badge of compassion, because nobody wanted to believe that the person who saves lives could also take them. And maybe that's what makes this so terrifying, the realization that evil doesn't always wear a mask. Sometimes it wears scrubs. In the upcoming full episode, we're going deep. We'll pull apart the psychology, the patterns, the cover-ups. We'll ask the questions no one wants to. What drives a nurse to kill? What fractures in a person's soul could turn care into cruelty? And how does a system meant to heal become the perfect hunting ground for those who crave control? Because here's the truth. When I became a nurse, I wanted to hold hands through pain, not be the reason for it. But stories like Jane's force us to look closer at the profession we love, the people we trust, and the silence we ignore. This weekend, I'll take you through the full, unflinching deep dive. We'll trace the line from Jolly Jane to the modern-day angels of death. And when it's over, you'll never look at a hospital room or the person standing beside your bed the same way again. So make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Turn on your notifications, because the moment that story drops, you'll want to be here.